Hi everyone, my name is Ryan or MandRproductions, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at all 5 of the LEGO TIE Fighter play models. This is excluding the UCS model and any mini or micro fighter models that may have been released in the interim, but from 2001 to 2018 there have been 5 LEGO TIE Fighter models, all kind of based on the same thing. We obviously do have the one from The Force Awakens, the First Order Special Forces TIE Fighter, but the other 4 TIE Fighters are all from the original trilogy. I do apologize in advance because the lighting in this video is going to be a bit wonky with all the wings on the TIE Fighters, and the lighting is just going to be a little bit crazy with some of this, so I hope you guys can bear with me as we go through these. But I wanted to take a look at all these models side by side and give you an idea of how LEGO has changed over the years. The way this video is going to go is we're going to spend about a minute individually on each TIE Fighter, and then we're going to move on to a group setting with all the TIE Fighters kind of intermingling and me giving my thoughts about the changes throughout the years and some of the smaller changes that they've made and some of the bigger ones that they've made for better or for worse. Let's go ahead and hop right into this with the first TIE Fighter that was released in 2001. The 7146 TIE Fighter set had 169 pieces, 2 minifigures, and cost $20 back in 2001. Adjusted for inflation, $20 in 2001 comes out to about $28 in 2018. We can see this TIE Fighter has a pretty standard design for what we had back in the day. It used some Technic connections here to combine the wings to the main center area of the TIE Fighter. It included a regular TIE Pilot and a Stormtrooper minifigure. It also had a very smooth hinge for the cockpit opening. This one opens again really smooth, really easy to do. It also introduced this printed tile on top. You had this really cool printed windshield as well that we had previously seen, I believe, in Darth Vader's TIE Fighter and Y-Wing. It was a combo set back in 1999. The back engine area is pretty well detailed, I suppose, although again it still looks a bit blocky by today's standards. The wings look pretty rough, and again this is in a blue color, which is originally what the TIE Fighters were in, apparently, like in the movies. However, it had something to do with the green screen or blue screen type of technology they were using back in the 1970s, 1980s, and for some reason, I don't know exactly why they were blue, but they were blue in the movies, or they were supposed to be gray, or they were supposed to be blue. I don't know exactly, but anyway, that's how we ended up with a blue model, and now we have light gray, which I do prefer much better. In 2005, we had this TIE Fighter introduced to us, the 7263 TIE Fighter, and it included 159 pieces and cost $20 back in 2005. Nowadays, in 2018, that same $20 is worth about $26. The minifigures included in this set were a Imperial TIE Pilot, and the obvious highlight was the light-up Darth Vader that actually had a working light-up lightsaber. It's something that we only saw in 2005, but it was awesome to get in this set. Now, you might be saying, is that the same TIE Fighter as the 2001 version? Well, no. It made a few changes. Most notably, they added these pieces onto the wings to make the shape more accurate, and then they also added these pieces here in the connection area just to kind of shape that off better, I felt. It was also in the newer gray colors. This was done in the old gray colors before they had switched to like the new light bluish gray and dark bluish gray. These were the old gray and light gray. Anyway, it did retain the same printed piece on top as well as the same cockpit piece. However, they introduced a new connection for the cockpit, and it is a little bit of a bumpier thing to use. I had a lot of trouble with this in particular. It's because it uses a different hinge than the old one. It's not quite a Technic hinge, it just uses those 2 clips, but it's a little bit of a tighter thing, and for some reason on this model, you have to kind of hold it down in the back to get it to open. It's still really smooth, it's just a little bit tough. You'll find the interior is pretty much the same as the old version, which I don't really even think I showed, but it's the same. You can see the inside of the wings, again, going to be the same exact design, so it's a very similar model to 2001, although it brought about some small improvements. From 2012, we saw the first major upgrade for the TIE Fighter. This is the 9492 TIE Fighter. It included 413 pieces, 4 minifigures being a TIE Pilot, a Death Star Trooper, a R5J2 astromech droid, and an Imperial Officer Commander. So this was the first TIE Fighter with more than 2 minifigures, which was nice. It did cost $55 in 2012, and adjusted for inflation, that is $60 in 2018 money. So if it wasn't obvious already, here's the 2001 version, and here's the 2012 version on the left there. You can see 11 years made a huge difference. Even the 2005 version wasn't much different than this. So this new version introduced the new light gray color, which I and many people do much prefer over the blue color. It also had these very, very nice wings. The wing design was incredible. They had this great design where they've got these type of pieces on the outside that kind of encompass the rest of the black part of the wing, which looks great. They also included these new type of pieces, allowing for the stripes on the wings to be shown, which works really well. We did still lack the interior for the wings and any type of detailing there, but The new wings, regardless, looked much, much better. The connection for the main center area and the wings was also much tighter, so you had less of a looseness to it, although it is still kind of loose. You can still kind of get a little bit of wobble there, but they had kind of tightened that up. We had a brand new cockpit piece, which uses a different type of hinge like we had seen in the previous two models, different hinges, and this one is no exception. You'll find that this one is a little bit tough to open. You have two different hinge points here. You have one for the main cockpit, which you can open up to get the pilot in there, and then you have one to just open it up the whole way if you want to. So I find that to be a little bit odd, but it was still kind of a nice inclusion. It's again, like, it's a little bit wobbly getting it to open. That was kind of the one thing I didn't like about it. I will also note it includes the same printed piece on the top of the set that we've seen in these previous two versions, again in dark bluish gray. Another thing to note is that this is the first TIE Fighter that includes a feature besides the cockpit being able to open up and put the minifigure inside. This one had flick-fire missiles on the underside of the ship. You can see the red studs or red tips there, and basically all you had to do was flick them to shoot them off. In this case, we'll just push one out, and basically they would come out very easily. Also very easy to reload. So that is the 2012 TIE Fighter. The next model in the series, though, saw a drastic change in color. Coinciding with the release of Star Wars The Force Awakens, 2015 saw this beast of a model, dubbed the First Order Special Forces TIE Fighter. Its official LEGO set number was 75101. It had 517 pieces, 4 minifigures, being a First Order officer, a First Order crew member, and 2 First Order TIE Fighter pilots. At a price tag of $70 in 2015, it was the most expensive TIE Fighter to date. That is about $73 in 2018 money. At the time when this was released, it had a great new mechanism for connecting the wings to the center area or the cockpit of the set. It uses clips on the inside there, and that's how it's connected, and you can see there is very little wiggle. You can't hear it wiggling at all, so that's very, very cool. It introduced this kind of inverted color scheme. Instead of having light gray on the outside of the wings, you now have it as the actual main wing piece, and then black as the kind of stripes on the wings. So that was a very cool change there. You also got these kind of red accents in the cockpit area. I also really like what they did with the cockpit for this set. It's kind of a double cockpit, so you have the front here with this translucent red piece, but all printed on there very nicely. You could fit one pilot in the front there, and then you could also flip it around back, open up this back area, and put in a second cockpit, and this has a completely different printed piece there. So very, very cool set. It also did have some spring-loaded shooters here on the front. You can see them right there, and all you had to do is push them to get them to shoot. So the 2015 First Order Special Forces TIE Fighter was easily one of the best TIE Fighters, and still is. However, in 2018, we have a brand new TIE Fighter. 2018 has brought us this wonderful Imperial TIE Fighter based off of the Han Solo movie. The official LEGO set number for this is 75211. It includes 519 pieces for $70 US, and if my math is correct, in 2008 money, that is $70 US. It also did include 4 minifigures, being a Mimban Stormtrooper, an Imperial pilot, a Han Solo, kind of wearing a odd disguise, and then also Tobias Beckett. So this kind of had the widest range of characters, and also had a few named characters, which is pretty cool as well. This model very much borrows from the First Order Special Forces TIE Fighter for its wing design, again, just with that inverted color scheme there. Again, going to be the same on the other side. We're still kind of lacking any interior wing design, which is a shame, but we do see that on the UCS model, so I guess if you're going for complete accuracy, that's where you want to look. It also does have kind of that same connection that the First Order Special Forces TIE Fighter one does, and again, very, very sturdy. So you'll notice with the earlier TIE Fighters, when we're looking at them, they kind of wobbled a lot when you move the wings. This one does not. This one also has that kind of printed piece on the top that we saw with the earlier models, except it's in a light gray color, and it's a slightly different print. They kind of changed some things up on it, so it looks very nice. We also have this newer printed cockpit piece, which we did see on the TIE Striker from the Rogue One movie. It does open up very easily. The top also opens up, so you get 2 different sections to be able to open up and fit your pilot in there. No printed piece in there for like a control panel or anything, unfortunately. You'll also find some spring-loaded shooters located underneath the seating area for your minifigure. You can shoot them off very easily out of the back there. This is what the back of the ship looks like as well, so you have a couple of red studs there, kind of, I guess, to represent the propulsion of the engines. And I also really like the connection areas between the cockpit and the wings. I think they're nice and thinned out. I really just like the way they look. And if we bring in the First Order Special Forces TIE Fighter, I'll give you a better idea of what I'm talking about by those inverted colors. You can see On the left, we have black with gray, and on the right, we have gray with black. So I just kind of like the way they did that with the First Order Special Forces TIE Fighter. If we look at the most comparable regular TIE Fighter to the more recent 2018 TIE Fighter, you can see what 6 years has done for this LEGO model. It actually looks really good on the newer version. It makes the older version kind of look bad, as much as I really like the 2012 version. If we flip it towards the front here, you'll get an idea of what the two cockpits look like. And again, LEGO made a huge change with the newer version that I really, really like. I also really like the light gray piece on the top as opposed to the dark gray piece on the top. That just felt like it was a legacy piece use, and they didn't really feel like changing it to the light gray color. Looks really good in light gray. Again, like I mentioned, the connection between the wings and the center area looks really, really good on the new one. The old one from 2012 kind of looking a little bit shoddy nowadays, as much as I used to like it. Moving in a bit closer here, we can get an idea of what the insides of these two TIE Fighters look like next to each other. If we open them both up, you can see not much has changed as far as interior design. However, you'll notice with the new one, we're kind of lacking any type of control panel. This one has a translucent red piece, which is nice, but again, no seat on this one. There is a seat on that one, so just kind of minor changes that had happened throughout the years. This one, again, much more sturdy than this one, which uses kind of this Technic pin connection that doesn't really work as well as it could have, but this one, very, very good connection with the clips that they use in there. And if you build either of these models, you'll know what I'm talking about. But if I pull this wing off, you'll get an idea of what I'm talking about with the Technic pin connection. You have the pins and then the Technic rod that pushes through. And this model just has clips there that really just hold it on nice and tight. So definitely preferred over the new one as far as that is concerned. And for comparison's sake, here on the left we have the 2018 TIE Fighter, and here on the right we have the original 2001 TIE Fighter, and you can see there is a massive difference in the way these models were constructed. LEGO has changed so much throughout the years, and it's so wonderful to see a new model compared to such an old model. I mean, this thing just looks wonderful. It's beastly. This 2001, while it does have that nostalgic feel to it, it just kind of has that classic LEGO Star Wars look. The new ones are just so much more accurate, and I feel like people give LEGO a lot of crap for the pricing on these newer models, but I think $70 is totally fair. Considering this is about $30 in today's money, I totally don't see why people have such a huge problem with paying $70 for the newer models. I mean, this is just an incredible, incredible feat that LEGO has come to. It's crazy to see the transformation from 17 years ago. I mean, you get this flimsy little model. It doesn't even have flick fire missiles at the very least. Like, there's no added features. It just, I mean, what LEGO has done here is crazy. Here's a shot of all the wings side by side. Starting on the left, we have the 2001 model moving to 2005, seeing our big jump from 2005 to 2012. Seeing another kind of incremental jump as we move from 2012 to 2015, and then kind of an invertation of those colors from 2015 to 2018. It's just incredible to look at the changes LEGO has made. And here's just a top-down look to give you an idea of the changes made throughout the years. Again, the biggest change coming from 2005 to 2012. Then we saw the newly colored First Order TIE Fighter, and then back into the regular colored TIE Fighters with the Han Solo movie, which is easily my favorite of the 5 TIE Fighters here in the collection of TIE Fighters. And as kind of the last section of this video, I thought it would be neat to compare the UCS model to the rest of the TIE Fighter models from 2018 and prior. Again, the UCS model released a few years back for $200. Obviously, it dwarfs the rest of them and is in a league of its own, but it's just kind of a cool comparison to make to see how much bigger it is than the other TIE Fighters and how much LEGO has changed since 2001 here with this original TIE Fighter model. You can see it went from that to this monstrosity, this beautiful, beautiful thing. You can also see they were able to get the inner detailing on the wings here on the UCS model, unlike any other of the TIE Fighters. So that's just kind of a cool note compared to the rest. So let's go ahead and wrap this video up. So as far as ranking these sets from worst to best, I would definitely go with the year they were released. The 2001 version being the worst and the 2018 version being the best, and the rest in order of year release in between. I think that's definitely the way to go here as far as I'm concerned. LEGO has made great changes to these throughout the years, as well as keeping them at a pretty fair price. If you guys enjoyed this comparison between all of the LEGO TIE Fighter playset sized models, leave a like on the video down below. If you have any suggestions for future LEGO Star Wars comparison videos or anything to say about this video in particular, please let me know in the comments section below. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Thank you all for watching, guys, and I'll see you all in the next one. Check out all these videos if you haven't seen them yet. Peace out.